So this is kind of the biggest box I've ever seen for a chop saw stand. Yeah, so see what's inside that makes it so big. Couldn't believe it when I picked it up. Well, it kind of looks like it comes ready built, which is good. Just put this down a second, get some of the packing out. So in the box we've got a box of fittings here, some sort of clamps. They look like for the wheels with brakes on it so it doesn't move. You got the two wheels, two rollers for the end, and your two clamps for the chop saw. This is the actual stand itself. The main reason I'm reviewing it is because when I went to buy it I couldn't find any reviews for this yet. It actually looks really sturdy, so that's a good sign. Right, I'm going to drop the wheels on it and stuff, and then I'll come back to you. Okay, so I've got the wheels attached now. They have little noggins there that locate and bolt right through, and there is like two silver washers that slot in both sides. I don't know if you can see that there, it might not focus. The wheels are hard, they're not rubbery, so they could wear quite quickly from dust and rubble on the site. Put the locator screws in there for pulling it out longer, and the other one's there for the adjustment. Now the thing I like about this is when they're tight they feel solid. On a lot of them, when you tighten them up, they have a lot of movement in them, and to me, for accuracy, that's actually quite important. So I'm now going to grab my chop saw, get it attached to the plates for the quick release. Okay, so I've got a Erbauer saw, and I've used the shortest bolts they come with. They've got squares on the inside, and put the washer and the locking nut on the top. I've just left it loose for the moment so I can get the counterbalancing right, so I'm just going to put it up and click it in. So the annoying thing I've found with my saw is that these slider rails don't go far enough back for the saw to sit anywhere near the centre. You know, I can only use this much of the roller, if that, which to me would be very frustrating. I want the saw to sit centre really. Looking at the instructions, they're basically saying that I've got put a bit of plywood on it, which is going to add weight to the whole thing, and sit this part in the plywood and then sit this part on the plywood so that I can off centre it to their rails. I'm going to look if I can do anything else, because I don't really want to add the weight of a piece of wood, and also a piece of wood's going to deteriorate over time, possibly fall apart. So let's see what I can do. The underneath of this stand has it's almost like an ironing board, so you have a pin there. As you lift it up, it locates in the holes. This is very thick tubing, feels very good, well made. This one twists round on here so that you can adjust any slight difference in the floor, make it level out, which is good. It's nothing worse than a rocky saw when you're trying to do things delicate. The wheels click on and off, and yeah, it's pretty much all there is. You can hold it by the handle there, or pull it along with the saw attached, which I have tested in there, and it doesn't slide down while you're pulling it. That's about it really. Okay, so what I've done is I've drilled a couple of holes and put the fitting in here, which actually just, I don't know if I can see it there, just under there like that on the clips, so don't affect any of the operations of it at all. So that is the saw all nicely locked into the table. Very sturdy in the table there as well, which is nice. Under all my parts there. Now these slide rails, just a twist here, slide out. Not particularly far, to be honest, but when you tighten that up, the important thing is it isn't too much movement there when you press down on it. Probably a couple of mil, but I wouldn't say it's any more or any less to the DeWalt stand, which I have used. It's a shame they don't come out longer. If it isn't, to me, that is a massive downside to an apparent 200 kilogram saw stand, much less than the DeWalt I've used. The DeWalt nearly has a metre both sides, but then the board is nearly a metre long in the middle. So to me that is a great disadvantage, because for a lot of the stuff I'm going to be doing, I'm either going to have to get an extra roller to put on the end, or come up with some other idea, get a horse or something set up. But again, they can be nightmares, because when you pull the wood along, they can fall over. And that's about the overall size of it. It's probably only a metre in complete length, and the saw sits in nicely. Oh, got me got a thing in the way there. Saw sits in nicely for good use. The Metabo saw does seem very good as well. I've had that a while now, and it seems to cut accurate on the angles, which a lot of saws don't. I did have to dial this dial up underneath so it would sit over these bits, but other than that, all good.